Hey there, slingers. So we live in this world of Hallmark holidays, right? There's a holiday for everything, and a lot of it's really not important. But there are some things that are really important, and if you're listening to this, you know how important slingshots are in your life. So we are hereby declaring February 20th to be International Slingshot Day. Now you ask, why February 20th? Well, because that's the one I'm picking, because my mentor, the person that brought me the most enlightenment around slingshots, the person that embodied the joy of slingshots more than anyone else I've ever known, was born on that day, and that was Mr. Blue Skeen, Richard Blue Skeen. A lot of you have heard of him, some people haven't. He is arguably the most important slingshot shooter in the USA, if not the world. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Rufus Hussey's the man, but that's because he got on Carolina camera on TV and he was on the Johnny Carson show. But if you want to talk about a man that truly loves slingshots and could shoot the lights out till the day he died, that's Blue Skeen. So Blue was born in rural Virginia, Pound, Virginia. And unlike most little boys in that area, he didn't really grow up with a slingshot. It wasn't until later in his life, when he moved to Michigan and worked for the Ford Motor Company, that he took up slingshots. He was really into trapping. And when he discovered slingshots, he was the type of the guy, you would classify him as an enthusiast. Everything he did, he took off really deep into it. Slingshots were exactly the same thing. He was a really strong man. Not that you have to be a strong person to shoot a slingshot well, but having a solid musculature definitely makes you a better shot. Beyond that, he had the mindset for slingshots. And a step beyond that, he had the joy in his heart, and he shared it everywhere. So if you ever met Blue Skeen or had the opportunity to meet Blue, I guarantee you he gave you a slingshot. And if he didn't, he probably tried to give you one or told you he would send you one in the mail. And he always kept his word. So when I met Blue, I met him through another great slingshot legend, Gary Flatband Miller out of New Jersey. He asked me one year, he said, can anybody bring Blue to the East Coast Slingshot Tournament? Well, I took a look at the map and realized that Blue only lived about 2 hours north of me. So I went and met Blue to carry him to the Slingshot Tournament, and it was an instantaneous friendship. Instantaneous. I walked up to his house, I saw his catch boxes. When he opened the door, he had a big old smile on his face, a big old toothless grin. And I'm getting a little choked up thinking about it. We drove to that tournament together, and from that point forward until the day he died, we shot together as often as possible. And the thing that I take away from Blue, a couple of things I take away from Blue, but the biggest thing is his desire to share his joy of shooting slingshots. And it was infectious. Anybody that showed an interest in slingshots, he was there. He was completely present to show you how to learn about the slingshot and to derive as much joy and benefit as you could. The other thing about Blue was he was ruthless. Whenever I'd make a bad shot, he would let me know, Nathan, you missed that one. I loved it. Whenever I'd shoot too low, he'd be like, you need to aim higher. The total obvious. It would piss you off and make you smile all at the same time. Blue was the quintessential slingshot gentleman. His porch was covered in natural forks, and I guarantee anyone that would ever deign to put a metal detector in his yard would be entering into a plot of madness because there were so many steel balls on his property. Blue and I, we hosted multiple slingshot events at his home. We traveled together. We just had a lot of fun with a simple shared joy. That was the slingshot. And it didn't take a fancy slingshot. I made plenty of beautiful fancy slingshots for Blue, and he'd immediately fork hit them and tell me, oh, that one ain't worth a shit. And he would go back and shoot his natural fork and light it up. Likewise with any other slingshot. He's the guy that kind of, him and a few other folks put the idea of starships on the map, really revolutionized the use of flat band latex. Blue was a big proponent of gum rubber. But where I'm going with all of this is Blue was near and dear to me. He brought slingshots deeper into my being and allowed me to share them with the world. So I think it's really important. Let's take his birthday. And this isn't necessarily about Blue. This is about our slingshot story. Everyone has a slingshot story. I have one, you have one, and if you think about your slingshot story, you're probably gonna have a smile. If it's not outward, you're gonna have that inner smile. So here's what I challenge all the slingers of the world to do. February 20th, let's make it every year. Go to your favorite social media site, write a blog post, and just talk about that person, that one person, or those people that brought slingshots into your world, and how that person influenced your world and made it better because of slingshots. Slingshots are truly a unifying tool for joy. And if there's one thing in this world that's missing, that's joy. Day-to-day joy, simple joy, just a giggle. Blue is great at laughing. That's one thing I love about Blue. So, in honor of International Slingshot Day, I honor Blue Skeen. Who do you want to honor? We can't wait to hear.